So to use resources to the best of the interest of humanity and best of the interest of goodness is what is repeatedly promoted in the Holy Quran. Now, speaking of this verse, I again point out, you are a great scientist, I understand, and I am really happy that you are among us this evening, that previously it was understood that there were empty spaces in the space. At the time of Hazrat Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, the concept of space was very rigid. It was more like Aristotelian age concept, which presented the universe as heavens as covers, plastic covers, studded with shining elements, and they were the stars, etc. But the Holy Quran presented it in a completely different scenario or view, which seems to be so unbelievable to have been attributed to unbelievable when you attribute it to a man of that age, because he is not talking of things which he inherited. He is not talking of things which he knew at that time, which could have known at that time. Yet he says that whatever is in the heavens and whatever is on the earth and whatever is exists in between them, all that is for the service of mankind. And the in-between concept is non-existent. Also, the Holy Quran speaks of the force of gravity by pointing out that if you think that the whole universe is suspended on nothing, you're wrong. The whole universe is interlinked with the threads or strings or pillars which you cannot see. The word used is pillars. I came to it afterwards because the way the pillars are described is some strings, some forces, and no more. It says they are pillars which are invisible to you, but they hold the entire universe in balance. So things of this nature indicate that it's an open invitation to man to search more, to explore more, and even beyond the space of this earth, go into space and find out how best he can benefit from all that has been created for the purpose of service of man. As far as the spending is concerned, the very first verse on the usage of these things indicates or admonishes us, وَمِمَّا رَزَقْنَاهُمْ يُنْفِقُونَ. The Holy Quran in Surah Al-Baqarah begins with a statement which contains this message. The believers, true believers, are those who spend for the sake of goodness whatever we have granted them. So that means the resources should not be monopolized by man or states or big powers, but they should be treated as common heritage for the benefit of mankind. So whatever God has created for you, you must share with others. If we start working with that spirit today, it will do away with racism, it will do away with first nations and the second and third class nations. Mankind as such would emerge much richer, because the Holy Quran again reminds us that these resources are inexhaustible. The moment you think you have reached the brink of a treasure, where you think it is about to finish, God will make you aware of others which already have been created by God. And this is a very clear verse which speaks or which sheds light on this issue. It says, وَإِن مِّن شَيْءٍ إِلَّا إِنْدَنَا خَزَائِنُهُ وَمَا نُنَزِّلُهُ إِلَّا بِقَدَرٍ مَعْلُومٍ. that God's treasures are inexhaustible. There is nothing of which we have not khazain, that is treasures. But He would reveal to man according to a set estimation. Whenever required, He would, here nuzul again is the word used. You asked about Jesus Christ's bodily descent. The Holy Quran says that all the treasures descend from heaven. It also speaks of iron having descended from heaven, indicating obviously very clearly that the word descends only is used in relation to the benefit one can draw from things which come from God. That's all the meaning to it. So the treasures there are buried in the earth, but God will let us know where they are and how to use them. This is the meaning which is supported. It's not just my own interpretation for the sake of becoming a pleader for the Holy Quran. The Holy Quran speaks for itself. Speaking of the world to come, the Holy Quran says, وَإِذَا زُلْزِلَتِ الْأَرْضُ زِلْزَالَهَا وَأَخْرَجَتِ الْأَرْضُ أَثْقَالَهَا وَقَالَ الْإِنسَانُ مَا لَهَا. A time will come when the earth will throw out its heavy metals, and the world would be wonderstruck and said, what is happening to the earth? Why is it throwing up its weights, heavy weights? So the word athqala means anything heavy, which means heavier things are buried in the ground, which will be thrown out at the injunction from instruction from Allah. And the time would come, man would think that he is discovering, but it would be through Allah's destiny that he will be able to do that. And the earth will, throw out all its heavy treasures. So read this in connection with what I have said. It's become very obvious that khazain will not descend from heaven, that is, treasures will not descend from heaven, they are already here. If we spend in the cause of Allah for His sake, sharing what we have discovered of the wealth, it is a promise by God that we will not emerge the poorer for that. We will be bestowed more and more and more. So why not change this policy towards the rest of the world? Wherever we find something of common usage for the mankind, for the betterment of mankind, if we share these resources, I'm quite certain that the rich nations will not emerge poorer. They will be far richer and much more beloved of the people of the earth than at present they are. This is an advice regarding resources which I also rendered to Saudi Arabia and other oil-rich countries. I said, at least you should begin to share this wealth with your own Arab brothers. Many Arab countries who are unfortunately deprived of this wealth, this black gold wealth, you should consider it to be a bounty for the whole Arabs, if not for the whole world. If not for the world Islam, at least share it among the Arabs. And many problems will be resolved. No Iraq war could have taken place if such an attitude had been adopted by the Saudians or other oil-rich countries. So if that is what you meant to inquire regarding my views, I have laid myself open. Is that right? Thank you.
Now I will invite Miss Irma from Manchester.
Miss Irma.
Hazur, I would like to ask you if you could please throw some light about the future of Bosnia, and secondly, would you establish a mission over there for progress of Islam?
Future of Bosnia, I could clearly understand, but the remaining part of your question I just missed. Could you help me?
Could you establish a mission in Bosnia for the purpose?
Oh yes. Oh, I understood. Yes, thank you. Future of Bosnia, in my view, is brighter than ever before. Because before this war took place, Bosnia was not known among the Committee of Nations as anything of importance. It was a small